June 6, 1944, the day that changed the course of World War II. The day when 156,000 Allied soldiers defied the odds and landed in Normandy to liberate Europe from Nazi rule. But what seemed like a straightforward assault was actually one of the most ingenious and risky plans in military history. Before the first boots touched the sand, there were months of preparation, espionage, sacrifice, and strategic decisions that would seal the fate of the world. The plan didn't start in June. D-Day was conceived years earlier. Churchill, Roosevelt, and the Allied generals knew that an invasion was necessary to defeat Hitler. But how? The English Channel was a natural barrier. The Nazi army was entrenched. The Atlantic Wall, with bunkers, heavy artillery, and thousands of soldiers, made the mission almost impossible. Then came the decision: deceive Hitler. Operation Fortitude. One of the greatest deception schemes in history. The Allies created a fake army, led by General Patton, stationed in England, simulating an invasion at Pas-de-Calais. Fake radio transmissions, inflatable tanks, wooden planes, all to convince Hitler that the real attack wouldn't be in Normandy. And it worked. When D-Day arrived, the Germans were still expecting the invasion elsewhere. But before the landing, the skies had to be conquered. Thousands of paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions dropped behind enemy lines. Their mission? Cut communications, destroy bridges, weaken the German response. But many landed in the wrong places. Some were shot before even hitting the ground. Others fell directly into Nazi-held zones. Chaos reigned, but against all odds, they completed their mission. The enemy was disoriented. Then came the moment. At 6:30 a.m., the first wave of soldiers launched against the beaches codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Each presented unique challenges. At Utah, the current diverted the landing craft, but placed them in a more favorable position. At Juno and Sword, Canadian and British forces advanced under heavy resistance. But nowhere was more hellish than Omaha, the nightmare of Omaha Beach. The Germans, entrenched on the cliffs, had complete advantage. Machine guns mowed down soldiers before they even left the boats. The sea turned red with blood. Bodies floated in the water. For hours, it seemed the mission would fail, but the Allies refused to give up. Small groups managed to hide behind obstacles, scale the bluffs, and neutralize defenses. Bit by bit, Omaha was conquered. Among these heroes was Lieutenant John Spaulding of the 16th Infantry Regiment. His unit lost half its men before hitting the shore. But he didn't hesitate. He led his men through the kill zone, organized attacks against German bunkers, and opened a vital breach for victory at Omaha. Meanwhile, on Utah Beach, Sergeant Turner Turnbull saw his landing craft destroyed before reaching the shore. He swam under enemy fire, found his comrades, and led an improbable counterattack that helped secure the beach. At the top of Point Du Hoc Cliffs, American Rangers scaled 100-foot rock faces under heavy fire. Captain James Rudder led the operation. After capturing the German positions, his men held out for 2 days without reinforcements, facing fierce counterattacks, ensuring the coastal guns wouldn't be used against the Allied forces. But D-Day wasn't just a day. It marked the beginning of Europe's liberation. In the following days, the Allies pushed the Nazis back. The French resistance rose. Cities were reclaimed. 2 months later, Paris was liberated. In the months that followed, the Nazis were driven back into Germany. Without D-Day, the war could have lasted years longer. The Red Army was advancing from the east, but it was the Allied advance from the west that sealed Nazi Germany's fate. Hitler was cornered. In April 1945, surrounded and with no way out, he committed suicide. The Reich fell. D-Day was more than a battle. It was an act of courage, sacrifice, and flawless strategy. It was proof that tyranny can be overthrown when the righteous unite. The men who fought that day changed the world forever. That was the epic story of D-Day. But there's much more to tell. If you want more incredible narratives like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The war may be over, but the stories live on.